Today, we're looking at more of a deep dive in the Office integration into SolidWorks. So let's look at what we can do with inside SolidWorks that has connectivity to the Office PLM system. So you can see that we have our ribbon exposed by this Office PLM tab. And this tab gives us the ability to view, check out, save, check in, modify the SolidWorks properties, and so on. The items that are grayed out are just not activated until we have this assembly saved into the PLM system. So let's activate the Save to PLM icon. And you can see that when we do that, we get a dialog box that allows us to do much, much more. And again, this is something that's very advanced. This is an advanced feature within our system because it allows you to not only vault these items, but it allows you to change the revision on the initial check-in. So this could be, you could be vaulting this from a different system and vaulting clean data into Office PLM. So this could actually be your data migration strategy. The problem with most data migration strategies is the data is not clean. So you can spend a lot of money cleaning it before you vault it. Or what we recommend is that you clean it as you vault it so that you know that while you're vaulting new information into Office PLM, that you're cleaning it as you go. So not only can you set the document number, the revision, the status, but you can also create the associated part. You could name it. You could change the revision. The descriptions are being mapped from the SolidWorks property as part of the integration offering. In addition to that, you can add all of the attributes that are coming from SolidWorks that you want onto the part master or the BOM component in the PLM system. So again, this is very powerful. You can toggle the part creation screen. You can toggle the auto numbering sequence and the auto document numbering sequence. So everything that you would need to check in a document, whether it's a new document or an existing document from another system, you have that ability on this screen. So let's see what happens. We select OK, and it begins saving this to the Office PLM system. Office PLM is validating all of these parts and documents as it's creating the new item. Once the new items are created, you'll see two windows or dialog boxes in the PLM system showing the parts that were created and the documents that were created. So here we have a dialog that shows these were the parts that were created. And you can see all of the information as well that was created while we were doing this. It auto part numbered for us. It gave us a description that was mapped from the property in SolidWorks. This column latest, it's true that it is the latest file. It vaulted on a release status. And this could be defaulted to WIP or whatever you want. This assembly is still checked out in SolidWorks, so it's locked. We'll get a true. And it shows who it's locked by, who it was created by, and all of the other information that was associated in that window that we checked in is now on the part master in the PLM system. The same is true with the document. And the document is just the CAD file itself, whether it's the assembly or the PRT file. So all of this information came across as we checked it in. What I like to show is the combined window using what we call the browser window. And the browser window just takes these two windows and combines the data together. It's showing the BOM component with the CAD document. So we see all of this information in one screen. And here we have the ability to modify the relationship or do a BOM edit. We modify this relationship. You see, we can change the position, the quantity. You know, we can do all the things that we need to on this window. And we can also edit this window to have more attributes on it. In addition to this, we can add an assembly drawing simply by just clicking this menu, creating a very simple isometric view. And at this point, we can either save it or check it in. The difference here is if we save it, we still have it checked out and we still retain ownership. So let's save it. And by saving it, it's going to vault it into the system. We get the same dialog box that we got before. And this time, it's saying that we're really not changing the parts that we already vaulted, but we're just adding a drawing. And again, we have the ability to add all of this information that we want, the document type, the status, the customer, anything that we would like to add, we can do that at this point. And when we save it to Office PLM, we're going to get a message that says it was saved. We'll get the dialog boxes again showing us that it was saved. And in this case, when we look at the browser view like we were looking before, we're just going to see that it added this drawing file to that browser window. So let's look at that. We have our two windows again. Our parts didn't change. Our document window, we added a drawing. And if we refresh our browser view, we're going to see, in fact, that this drawing was added. So let's kind of move this over a little bit so we can see it. And yes, we have our drawing now, which is the parent to the assembly. So if we look at this, we can see this is the part description, the latest, or the version, or the revision, I'm sorry, A, the status released, and the true means that this is the latest rev. You know, there is not another revision out there that has superseded this. We can always right-click on this and look at the information, view the information. We can see all of this information that was listed in the check-in dialog to begin with. We can see it here. Or we could modify this information and change it. So we want to change the color to red. And maybe it's a prototype. A prototype would execute a different revision sequence. Most companies use a prototype sequence of 1, 2, 3 versus ABC. So it could have been a prototype to start its life. And we have some of our ERP properties here, our manufacturing properties, quantity bearings, all of the things that are important to the ERP system, as well as our status. And we can save that information. We can also see the history of this. We can add a history event. We could open this in a list view. We could see where it's used. We could list all revisions. If an administrator needed to unlock it, they could unlock it from here if they have the right permissions. And we can do an expand all and see the entire assembly with its documents. If we unclick this box here, we could just see just the part structure and not the document structure. And the document structure is just the CAD components that are associated to the BOM part. You can see we re-click this and it's going to add the documents back to this. So in addition to that, we can also see and modify the document information from the CAD side by clicking on the Modify Document Info tab, or modify the part information, modify the SolidWorks properties. All of these features are available to the user. We can view the document information, as well as we could insert the bill of material on the drawing. We could map attributes to the title block, because all of this information is available to be used between SolidWorks and Office PLM. So at this point, I'm just going to check it in. By checking this in, I'm saving it, but I'm also relieving my permissions and ownership on this assembly and drawing. So when you have it checked out, you have ownership of it. When you check it back in, you release ownership. And then once it's checked in, obviously someone else can use it. While I have it checked out and locked, other people can view it and see how it's being used, but they just can't edit any of the properties while I have it checked out. So now it's the latest, it's true, it's released. It's not locked anymore. We can see that with these easily by looking at this information on the screen. So at this point, I can safely close this assembly and this drawing, knowing that I have created it, saved it, checked it in, and now I've released it. So that concludes today's in-depth look at the SolidWorks integration, the check-in to Office PLM.